Imagine the blessed occasion of Eid al-Adha approaching. The air thick with anticipation, hearts swelling with faith and generosity. The sacred act of Qurbani calls to Muslims worldwide, a sacrifice made to draw nearer to Allah, to share blessings, to renew our covenant of submission and gratitude. But in today's modern world, many ask a very practical and pressing question. Can you use a loan or a credit card to pay for your Qurbani? This question might seem simple on the surface, yet it touches deep issues of faith, financial responsibility, and the sincerity behind our acts of worship. To answer it, we must journey back to the foundations of Islamic finance, the spirit of sacrifice, and the timeless wisdom found in the Quran and Sunnah. Let's begin by understanding what Qurbani truly signifies. It's not just the physical act of slaughtering an animal. It is a profound expression of our obedience to Allah's command, rooted in the story of Prophet Ibrahim, who was ready to sacrifice his beloved son out of pure submission. The Quran honors this event. Indeed, we have seen the turning of your face, O Muhammad, toward the heaven, and we will surely turn you to a qibla with which you will be pleased. So turn your face toward al-Masjid al-Haram. And wherever you believers are, turn your faces toward it. And complete the Hajj and Umrah for Allah. Quran 2:144, 2:196. The act of Qurbani itself is deeply tied to sincere intention, niyya, and sacrifice, where the giver should be free from debt or financial burden when making the offering. Now, about using loans or credit cards to finance Qurbani, Islamic scholars have long discussed the concept of debt and spending in worship. In the Quran, Allah says, "O you who have believed, do not consume one another's wealth unjustly or send it, in bribery, to the rulers in order that they might aid you consume a portion of the wealth of the people in sin, while you know it is unlawful." Quran 2:188. This verse reminds us to be mindful and just in our financial dealings. The key issue with loans and credit cards is the element of debt and interest, riba, which is strictly prohibited in Islam. Riba is described in the Quran as a grave injustice, and Allah has permitted trade and has forbidden interest. Quran 2:275. Taking a loan or credit card means you are borrowing money that you must repay with additional charges, potentially putting you in a financially precarious position. This raises the question, can an act of worship meant to be pure and free of hardship be done while incurring debt that will burden you later? The answer from many scholars leans toward caution. The Prophet Muhammad taught us, the best of people are those who are most beneficial to the people, al-Mujam al-Asat. Financial responsibility and avoiding unnecessary debt reflect this principle, as they protect the individual and the community from harm. Furthermore, the hadith teaches us, whoever takes a loan and intends to repay it, Allah will help him to repay it, Musnad Ahmad, encouraging believers to avoid debt but trusting in Allah's assistance when genuinely in need. But what if the Qurbani is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and a Muslim is financially constrained? Should they still borrow? Here lies a delicate balance. If borrowing money is the only way to perform Qurbani without neglecting essential obligations such as paying off existing debts, supporting dependents, or fulfilling zakat, scholars advise against it because it could lead to financial hardship and reduce the blessing of the sacrifice. On the other hand, some scholars allow borrowing for acts of worship like Hajj or Qurbani if the person is confident in repaying without falling into more debt or neglecting family needs, emphasizing sincere intention and responsibility. Take the example of the companions, Sahaba, who were known for their frugality and careful stewardship of their wealth. Umar ibn al-Khattab said, "We do not eat except that we give a share in charity." Yet, none of them incurred debt to perform acts of worship. They prioritized paying off their dues and supporting their families before making extra sacrifices. This teaches us the importance of managing our finances wisely and ensuring our worship does not become a source of hardship. Another essential consideration is that Qurbani is a voluntary act of worship, not obligatory like the 5 daily prayers or fasting Ramadan. While highly recommended and spiritually rewarding, it should not be a burden. The Quran reminds us, Allah does not burden a soul beyond that it can bear. Quran 2:286. If using a loan or credit card puts one under stress or risk of default, the spirit of this teaching advises restraint. In modern times, with many charitable organizations offering Qurbani services on installment plans or low-interest terms that comply with Islamic principles, believers have alternatives to fulfill this noble act without resorting to conventional loans or credit cards laden with interest. This opens the door to thoughtful planning and seeking halal financial solutions. So, what's the takeaway? Can you use a loan or credit card for Qurbani? The safest and most rewarded path is to perform Qurbani with your own halal earnings, free from debt and interest, ensuring the act remains a pure expression of gratitude and submission. However, if circumstances necessitate borrowing, it must be approached with extreme caution, sincere intention, and a clear plan for repayment without harming oneself or one's family. As you reflect on this, ask yourself, is my Qurbani an act of sincere worship or a cause of unnecessary financial hardship? How can I prepare better to ensure my sacrifice is accepted and blessed by Allah? Remember the words of the Prophet, actions are judged by intentions, Bukhari and Muslim, and Allah loves that when one of you does a job, he does it perfectly, al-Bayhaqi. Your intention to please Allah and your effort to do so responsibly are what truly matter. May Allah bless us all with sincerity in our worship, wisdom in our finances, and the ability to make sacrifices that bring us closer to Him without hardship. May He accept our Qurbani, forgive our shortcomings, and multiply our rewards. Thank you for watching, and may peace and blessings be upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad and all those who follow his path with sincerity and love.